Welcome to Outdoor Oasis Ideas. Today's journey takes viewers into the enchanting world of rustic spring gardens, a place where the charm of weathered textures and the softness of blooming flowers come together to create a serene, timeless escape. Imagine a flower bed that feels like it has been kissed by time, with blooms that sway gently in the breeze and a design that invites peace and reflection. This video will guide every step of the way, from selecting the perfect location to choosing plants and adding those rustic touches that make the garden truly unique. For those ready to bring this vision to life, hit that subscribe button and join a community of garden lovers dedicated to crafting outdoor sanctuaries. A rustic garden is one that feels effortlessly connected to nature, where every element, from the plants to the materials, tells a story of simplicity and authenticity. It is not about perfection but about embracing the beauty of imperfection. Think of wooden fences with peeling paint, stone paths softened by moss, and flowers that seem to have grown on their own. When the word gentle is added, it evokes a sense of calm and tranquility. This is not a garden that shouts for attention with bold colors or rigid lines, it is a quiet retreat where soft hues and delicate blooms create a peaceful atmosphere. Spring is the ideal season for such a garden, as it is a time of renewal and growth. The earth awakens, and with it comes a burst of life, flowers blooming, birds singing, and the air filled with the promise of warmer days. This is the moment to capture that fleeting magic in a flower bed that feels both timeless and tender. Before any digging begins, careful planning is essential. The first step is selecting the right location for the flower bed. Look for a spot that receives ample sunlight, as most spring flowers thrive in full to partial sun. The soil should be well-draining and rich in organic matter. If it is heavy clay or sandy, amending it with compost or aged manure will create a nourishing foundation. Accessibility is also key. Ensure the flower bed is easy to reach for planting, watering, and, most importantly, enjoying. Once the location is chosen, decide on the size and shape of the bed. A rustic garden calls for organic, free-flowing shapes rather than strict geometric designs. Picture a gentle curve or an irregular outline that mimics the natural contours of the land, inviting visitors to pause and explore. This is not just a flower bed, it is the beginning of a story, etched into the earth. Choosing the right plants is like casting characters in a play, each one has a role to bring the garden's story to life. For a rustic spring garden, start with classic bloomers that herald the season's arrival. Tulips, with their elegant, cup-shaped flowers, are a must-have. Opt for soft shades like pale pink, cream, or buttery yellow to maintain the gentle aesthetic. Daffodils, with their cheerful trumpets, add a touch of whimsy. Varieties like Talia or Hoera offer a delicate appearance. Hyacinths bring both color and fragrance, but their dense spikes can feel formal, so mix them with looser, more casual plants like forget-me-nots, which blanket the ground in a haze of blue. Bleeding hearts, with their heart-shaped flowers dangling from arching stems, add a romantic touch straight out of a fairy tale. For height and structure, consider shrubs like lilacs, whose fragrant blooms create a stunning backdrop, or forsythia, with its bright yellow flowers signaling spring's arrival. When it comes to color, think of a watercolor painting. Pastels like lavender, soft pink, and white will evoke calm, while a few brighter accents can add depth without overwhelming the senses. Texture is equally important. Mix broad, glossy leaves with fine, feathery foliage, and balance tall spires with low-growing ground covers like creeping phlox or sweet woodruff. This creates a layered, dynamic look that feels both wild and intentional. To capture the rustic essence, natural materials are essential.
A border made from reclaimed wood, perhaps old barn planks or driftwood, can define the flower bed with charm and authenticity. Vintage or antique decor items, like an old watering can tipped on its side, a rusted wheelbarrow filled with soil, or a repurposed wooden ladder leaning against a tree, serve as focal points that tell a story. For a practical yet rustic addition, a rain barrel painted to blend with the surroundings can collect water for the plants, merging sustainability with style.
When arranging the plants, aim for a layout that feels natural and unforced. Avoid straight lines and symmetrical patterns. Instead, group plants in clusters or drifts that mimic how they might grow in the wild. Place taller plants like delphiniums or hollyhocks towards the back or center, depending on the viewing angle, and shorter plants like violas or primroses towards the front. Leave some space for plants to spread and for unexpected volunteers, self-seeding flowers like poppies or columbines, to pop up, adding to the garden's spontaneous charm. Consider adding a small seating area, a rustic bench crafted from logs, a pair of Adirondack chairs painted in a faded hue, or even a simple stump polished smooth by time, where one can sit and soak in the beauty. A trellis covered in climbing roses or clematis can provide a vertical accent, its weathered wood blending seamlessly with the surroundings. This is not just about visual appeal, it is about creating a space that invites connection with nature, a place to linger and breathe. Spring is the ideal time to plant many flowers, but timing is crucial. Research the specific needs of each plant to determine the best planting window. Some bulbs, like tulips and daffodils, need to be planted in the fall for spring blooms, while others, like annuals or late perennials, can be sown as the soil warms. When planting, ensure each plant has enough space to grow without overcrowding. Check the mature size on seed packets or plant tags to avoid a tangled mess later. Dig holes slightly wider and deeper than the root balls, mixing in compost for extra nourishment. Water thoroughly after planting, letting the soil settle around the roots, and keep it consistently moist until the plants establish. As the season progresses, regular watering, especially during dry spells, will be necessary, but avoid overwatering, as rustic plants often prefer well-drained conditions. Fertilize sparingly with an organic blend. Too much can lead to lush foliage at the expense of flowers. Keep an eye out for pests like aphids or slugs, addressing any issues promptly with natural remedies, think neem oil or a sprinkle of diatomaceous earth, to maintain the garden's ecological balance. Weeds will appear, as they do in any natural space. Pull them gently by hand or use a layer of mulch like straw or bark to suppress them. A rustic garden embraces a bit of wildness. Do not strive for a manicured lawn, but for a harmonious blend of growth and grace. A garden should reflecting personal style and passions. Add a trellis covered in climbing roses for a touch of romance, its delicate blooms spilling over the edges as the season progresses. A bird bath carved from stone or a simple dish nestled among the plants can attract feathered friends, their songs adding to the garden's charm. For a whimsical flair, scatter a collection of hand-painted garden stakes, perhaps shaped like butterflies or stars, among the blooms. String fairy lights along the fence or drape them through a nearby tree, their soft glow transforming the garden into a magical retreat as dusk falls. If sustainability matters, tuck a compost bin behind a screen of shrubs or install a rain barrel painted in earthy tones to blend with the rustic theme. An old bicycle, its basket overflowing with flowers, can lean against a post as a quirky centerpiece. These small details elevate the garden from merely beautiful to truly magical, creating a space that feels like an extension of the soul. A garden is meant to be lived in, not just admired from afar. Make it a space for relaxation and joy. Set up a cozy nook with comfortable seating, a weathered rocking chair, a hammock strung between trees, or a wrought iron table and chairs softened with cushions. Shade it with a pergola draped in wisteria or a large umbrella that sways in the breeze. Add a side table for a favorite book, a pitcher of iced tea, or a plate of fresh-picked berries. For those who love entertaining, create a small patio area with flagstones or gravel, where guests can gather for garden parties or quiet dinners under the stars. Picture the scene, laughter mingling with the scent of lilacs, the clink of glasses as fireflies begin to dance. The layout, too, can borrow from the past. Instead of rigid rows, let the plants mingle as they might have in a peasant's plot, daisies brushing against foxgloves, lavender tangling with sweet alyssum. A weathered wooden bench, its planks smoothed by years of rain and sun, could sit at the garden's heart, reminiscent of a resting spot for a farmer after a day's work. For a practical touch, intersperse the blooms with useful herbs, fennel with its feathery fronds, or borage with its starry blue flowers that once flavored cordials. This is a garden that honors tradition, where every plant tells a tale of survival and beauty woven through the ages. In a rustic spring garden, harmony extends below the surface, where roots intertwine and plants support one another. Companion planting, an ancient practice, elevates both the health and the charm of the flower bed. Picture tall sunflowers standing sentinel at the back, their broad leaves shading delicate violas below, while their sturdy stems offer support for climbing sweet peas. Nearby, a drift of calendula, its golden petals glowing like tiny suns, repels aphids from neighboring roses, a natural shield born of botanical wisdom. Nasturtiums, sprawling low with their peppery scent, deter whiteflies and add a splash of fiery orange to the palate. The combinations are endless and endlessly fascinating. Plant dill among the zinnias to attract ladybugs, those cheerful predators of garden pests, or let chamomile weave through the bed, its apple-like fragrance soothing both plants and gardener. For a touch of whimsy, tuck garlic chives near the edges. Their subtle oniony aroma keeps rabbits at bay while their purple pom-poms nod in the breeze. This isn't just planting, it's curating a community, where each flower and herb plays a role in the garden's quiet symphony. The result is a bed that thrives with minimal intervention, its rustic spirit enhanced by nature's own design. Color, too, evolves with intention. Early spring might glow with pastels, pink tulips, creamy narcissus, but as the season ripens, weave in bolder strokes, the crimson of bee balm, the sapphire of cornflowers. Let the hues shift with the light, soft at dawn, vibrant at noon, and muted in twilight's haze. This is a garden that doesn't just please the senses, it awakens them, drawing the visitor deeper into its rustic embrace.